Well, I got my license when I came here in 2008. I was at Proway, and then in 2015 I went to 71 Barbers Institute, which is closed down. I was downtown by close to CEI. I went there to get my instructor's license. And then I came here a few years after that, did 2 years teaching just to get my feet wet. And I actually have I had a barber shop in Snellville, Klassy Kuts barbershop. It's actually closed down now. I closed it down 2 years ago. I had it about 4 years, but I was in that same shop when I first started. I was only in one barber shop. I know a lot of times you hear barbers are jumping from shop to shop, but I stayed in the shop that I started in. And I ended up being the owner. That actually the shop was passed down to me. I think I was the fifth owner. So it was passed down to me. After that, I decided I was just ready for something new. So I closed it down and I went into a barber suite. So I'm still in Snellville. I'm in a suite now. And I'm actually working on a few other ventures. At the moment, I consider myself to be an image consultant, a psychologist, psychiatrist. When you're a barber, you're all of that because your clients are, they pour into you, they talk to you, and especially being in a private suite now is more one-on-one. So some of the ones that I didn't hear talk when I was in the barber shop, they got so much to say now. But I'm there, I'm that sounding board and that listening ear. And then being a female in a male-dominant industry is very different. So it's good to see females in here. I was asking, do you have any females? Because usually there's no females that come through here. So to see all of you, that's a great thing. It's an awesome thing. This is a great industry to be in. I know you all probably have had people come talk to you and everybody's telling you about the money that you can make and all of that. He was telling me that some of you all have never cut before, so I'm here to motivate and inspire you all. Regardless of what the situation looks like, just hang in there. The most experience you're going to get is when you get in the barbershop. I didn't start really getting experience until I got in the shop. I mean, I cut at Proway. They were well known, so they had traffic constantly coming in and out. And I know you all probably know Proway on Memorial Drive. So we had traffic coming in and out, so I was doing the basics, but I ended up going into a shop where a guy took me under his wing. He had it was a small shop, 6-chair shop, and about 5 of them in there actually helped groom me. I would cut their hair every week. They would walk me through stuff, but I was humble enough because I wanted to learn how to cut. A lot of people aren't humble. Humility is a thing you have to have in this industry if you're going to make it. So anytime I wasn't cutting, I was under them asking. I remember temp phase was a hard thing for me, ball phase. So I would go stand and I would ask questions. I probably got on their nerves, but I would definitely ask questions because I wanted to know. Then I would take that stuff home and I would play it over in my head, just the steps. That's the most important thing, is learning the steps. Learning what you're supposed to be doing. You can watch all of the videos you want to on YouTube. It'll give you an idea, but there are certain things you definitely have to have hands-on. But in order to have the hands-on, you also need to know what you're doing as well. But if you all that are in shops already, if you could find someone that has time, because a lot of owners or the managers that's in the shop, they don't want to take time to teach anyone. So if you could, go in and really start talking to people, because I understand some of you all get ready to graduate. So if you will go in and talk to them and ask them, if they have time to teach, if they have time to coach. If they say no, then that option is yours. But for me, if I was in the situation that you all are in and I have never cut before, I definitely would try to find somebody that will help to groom me. And it doesn't take long. We were busy. We were the only black barber shop in Snellville at the time. That was in 2008, and I think they had opened in 2007. So, but right now it's about, in that radius, about 5-mile radius, it's about 30 barber shops. You can find a shop, they're just like churches, they're on every corner. Find you all. When you get your license, not if, when you get your license, you got to realize you are a valuable commodity. Because people are looking for licensed barbers. You got so many shops that don't have licensed barbers in them. So just getting your license alone, even if you don't do anything else with it, you got to trade. So go get your license. I see so many, some of the ones that I taught, I can count on one hand the ones that went and got their license or whatever. And it's really sad because you spend all of this time here. This is an extended amount of time. A year and a half is a long time to go to barber school. If you were really going full time, it's what, 9 months, 9 to 11 months. And part time is what, 15 to 18 months or whatever. But it's just, the thing about Gwinnett Tech is just so much extra. But still stay encouraged, you know, during the process, because you all are almost done, but you got like a month and a half left. So, I mean, you all have made it, so don't worry about you can't cut or haven't cut. It's going to come. It comes with repetition. And I used to teach anyone, because I did a lot of teaching in my shop as well. And I told them, you know what, don't worry about the money, because a lot of folks get out and they, you know, quit their job, and that's the only thing they're doing. That's fine, but you got to perfect your skills. Perfect your skills and the money will come, you know. And that's really the science to it. It's not hard at all. Some of the stuff in the book you'll probably never see again. You ain't gonna never talk about anatomy again. You ain't gonna never talk, but you need to know it for the test now. But you probably, unless you're going back to get your instructor's license, then you may cover it again. But there are a few things that the industry that I hate that schools don't teach, and those are some of the things that I want to, you know, drop on you all this evening, and I pray that you take them with you and utilize them. So the first thing is always make sure that you have a clear goal in sight. And the reason I say that is because it's so easy in this industry to get on the hamster wheel. What does that mean? Keep doing the same thing over and over again. Just getting up, going to work, getting up, going to work. Don't do that. Have a goal in sight. And I'm only telling you this stuff from my experience, stuff that I ran into, stuff that slowed me down. The hamster wheel, what it does is it keeps money in your pocket, but it makes you kind of feel like you're in the drug game. You know, drug money comes quick. I don't know if anybody ever sold drugs. Hope you haven't, but if you've been around somebody that has, then you understand that money comes quick and it goes quick. When I first started, well, I'm gonna get on this. I'm gonna get on that next. But always have a clear goal in sight. One thing that I found when I set that goal in place, then I got something to work toward. For me, after I accomplished that goal, and I've never stopped to reestablish another goal, whether it was buying a house, buying a car, if I never stopped, then I got bored. I got burnt out. I got frustrated with the client. I got frustrated with getting up, going to work in the morning. Oh, I don't want to get up. I don't feel like I was dragging around. But after I figured it out, I understood once you accomplish that one goal, regardless of what it is, it may not even be a financial goal. It may just be, you know, you want to learn something new. Once I accomplished that, then I had to stop. I still do it now. I have to stop, put another goal in mind, and then work towards that goal. Once you work towards that goal and accomplish it, stop. You got to take time for yourself, you know, and then go get another goal and whatever. So it's important. Now we're still at the beginning of the year. Write down your goals. What do you want to accomplish, you know, in a year? What do you want this industry to offer you? One thing about it, you see, even with the pandemic going on, barbers and stylists were affected. You know, so you have to have goals in place. We may not experience this again, but we may experience it. So because we have a taste of it, now I need to prepare, because if the pandemic comes about, I need to know what I'm going to do during the time. A lot of barbers went and got jobs. I sat at the house and enjoyed my 6 weeks off. I needed a vacation anyway, because I was just going. And that gets old after a while. Even some of my clients, I tell folks that I used to get tired of my clients. And they was like, what are you talking about? They paying you. For me, it was more than that. I didn't care. I needed the money, but I didn't care about it. The way I felt was just burnt out. And I don't know if you all have ever, on any job, experienced burnout. When you get to that place, you're frustrated. You don't want to deal with nothing of it. And it may not even be with a job. It may be just with your family situation at home. You know, that's enough to burn you out, so you have to stop. So what the pandemic did for me, it helped me to refocus, realign, and reevaluate my whole situation. You know, and it's nothing that was just bad, but I realized there was a lot of things in my life that I was doing that was just busy work. You don't want to get caught up just doing busy work. You want to make sure that everything you do is productive, regardless of what it is. If you're going to work on a warehouse job, you need to make sure that what you're doing is productive, meaning I ain't just working a job, because we weren't placed here just to work a job. Everybody has a divine purpose. So I'm not just going to go work this job, make this money, and go back and do the same thing over again the next day. That gets old. So make sure you always keep a clear goal in sight. The next thing that I really wasn't taught in school that I think is going to help you all out, discipline. Make sure that you find discipline. Make sure that you discipline yourself. That means waking up on time, getting to your appointments on time, because during this burnout time, you're going to experience it. You'll get to the place where you're 30 minutes late, 15 minutes late. You may call and contact your client, but that's not a good thing. So you have to bring discipline into your life. You know, I realized once you discipline one area of your life, it will discipline every other area of life, because it's going to force everything else to get in line. You know what I'm saying? It's going to force you to make sure that you're not spending unnecessarily. That's one thing that we do as barbers and stylists. You get that quick money, you can go buy whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Anything you want. You can buy the whole line of Jordans or whatever y'all wear nowadays. I don't keep up with all of that. But you can buy the top of the line clothes. You can buy all of that. So discipline will stop that unnecessary spending. You got to have those goals in place. If you got a goal in place that you want to buy a house, then tennis shoes should be the last thing on your mind, especially if you got one pair on your feet. You know what I'm saying? You'll learn how to live without. I think it was, who is that? Zig Ziglar. Someone said you have to learn to live like no one else right now, so later on you can live like no one else. That means you got to make sacrifices now. Don't get everything that everybody's doing. Don't go everywhere. Don't, just waste money. And then later on, you'll have money put back so that you can go do the things that you want to do with your family. You can go on vacation. You have to make sure that you do that. And be coachable. Always be coachable. And I was saying that earlier. Someone may come along. One thing is barbers, all the barbers get arrogant. We get arrogant, especially when I was teaching in my shop, they were very humble. I would get students to come in and I would groom them. Time they hit that 7-month mark where they kind of could stand on their own, I couldn't tell them nothing else. You still got to be coachable during the process. That's how you continue to grow. The people around you are going to help you to grow. So I would want to be, if I was in a shop, I want to be in a shop where somebody is across cutting from me and he look up and give me an eye and let me know you still got a line in the bottom of your fade. Because it don't matter how long you've been cut, people still make mistakes, Or he can, text me and be like, checking before you let him go out the door. You know what I'm saying? That's teamwork. That's somebody that's really open to allow somebody else to help them. If you stay at that place, then you'll see yourself constantly growing. I'm only telling y'all stuff that I have gone through and stuff that I had to go through myself, had to deal with myself. Appointments. Now because of COVID, I think a lot of people are doing appointments. And it's kind of forced from state board. Appointments are great. I started appointments when I went and got my license at 71 to teach. And it was kind of rough in the beginning because I'm dealing, no offense fellas, I'm dealing with a bunch of men. Let me talk to my ladies. I'm going to come over here and talk to y'all. I'm dealing with a bunch of men that they don't really care about schedules. Number one, most men are used to going in the barber shop just from time past. They'll sit in there all day. You know what I'm saying? They just, you get me in or whatever. So yeah, I sit here out, and they would talk and have conversation. Things have changed now. We're in a different day and time. So when I got appointments, again, that helped to bring discipline to my life. Because now, I don't have to sit up here all day wondering if somebody's going to walk through that door. You can cut somebody 10 times, and then when they come in another time, they could go sit in his chair. They really ain't your client. We call them shop clients. And then if we're busy, then they'll go down the street. They already have each shop. I can get this person to cut me, that person to cut me. So it's like these people don't really belong to you. And truthfully, they're spending their money. They don't have to patronize you just because you've been cutting them 5 or 6 times. That 6th time could be the time that you really messed their head up and they just, wasn't feeling it. So they may go somewhere else. So appointments for me is good. I use Style Seed, and there are so many different apps. And I would advise, like, even before you really get off into the industry, right when you start doing appointments. You may start on just your phone, your calendar, but each one of them you have to pay for. I pay each month, but I also can go on and I can do a blast email. I can send out little promotion. I can do all kinds of stuff. Also, it collects the data for the client's information. So if I need to transport it out of that app, and all apps don't do that, but if I want to transport it out of Style Seed, I can. I can take my database somewhere else, take it to another app. So that's the thing that I like about it. A lot of folks look at, well, I don't want to spend no money. You got to spend money to make money. That's just how the world goes. If you can't really be stingy. It's I don't know if it's an old proverb or somebody says, as long as you keep your hands closed, nothing else can get in. So you have to, and I had to change my mentality on that. You know, I'm from Mississippi, so we have it's a different mentality there. When I go back now, I see how different the mentality is, but I didn't understand tipping until I got here and saw those clients get up and give me a $5 tip, a $10 tip. And it took me back to going to a restaurant or whatever, because you know, from the country, you sit by, all of us sit at the table, they'll get up, put a dollar on the table, and keep it moving. It changed my perspective of tipping. Like, if these people are willing to give you give you $5 or $10, then when you go to a restaurant, then you do the same thing to them. So people will teach you through life. All you have to do is just pay attention, listen to what they have to say. So, professionalism, that's the next thing. Professionalism. You have to be professional in this industry. I think that's one thing that's not heavily taught in school. But it's very much needed. Why I say professionalism? And I'm just going to be real. We have so many barbers and stylists that they come in to work. They leave out, go on a smoke break. They come back in, smell like weed, and then they're standing over the client. That's not professional. You know what I'm saying? We have to be more professional in this industry. The industry is going to treat you the way you treat it. So if you treat it like that, that's the way it's going to treat you. If you come in every day in jogging pants and sweatshirts and all that, you're going to pull that type of clientele in. Who wear that type of attire? Lazy folks. Folks have been lounging all day, pooking them from the block. If you put on some clothes, some slacks, some nice, something nice, you're going to attract that type of clientele. My clientele, and I was thinking the other day, I said, wow, man, it's interesting how my clientele has just shifted since I've been in this private space. I got a lot of preachers, a lot of leaders, people that are leaders in their jobs, in their industry, a lot of government workers. I have all types of people. Some of my preachers say, I come here because they leave their city, pass all kinds of barbers, and they come to my shop. They said, because I know I can get an appointment time, I can get there and get in the chair on time, but then I don't have to worry about all the extra that's going around. Some people don't like that crazy talking. You have some barbershops where it's a man's domain, so most men use profanity. Most of them, they're going to talk about the women and different things like that. But everybody don't want to be in that environment, so how do you want your business to look? That's the image that you're going to put out. Whatever you want it to look like. If you're in a place where you're just not feeling the atmosphere, then hey, it may be time for you to move. Maybe you've outgrown that place. So it's important to find the right atmosphere for you, number one, when you're looking for a shop. Number two, it's the right thing to find the atmosphere for the people that you're going to be servicing. What type of clientele am I trying to pull in? Or if they come in, are they going to be comfortable, sitting in here? Is the TV okay? Is there too much profanity on the TV? I don't allow that in my business. I never did when I had a barbershop. I was raised in church. So my mother, then she wasn't cussing around me, she wasn't drinking around me, she wasn't doing all that. But even if she was doing that, I'm the type of person that I know that professionalism is the thing that's going to push a business. So if I put out that professional image, then my business is going to be smooth. So a lot of the guys that came through that was cutting, they was like, well, it don't even feel like a barbershop anymore. I said, well, good. They stayed a little while, they got what they needed, and they left. And that was okay to me. I couldn't compromise the professionalism because it has been lost in the industry. And no one is teaching it anymore. So it's like a lot of owners, they're just looking to fill a chair. So to me, that's not important. It's like, do you connect with the environment that's in? Are you okay with that? We don't do all of this, And it's not to tell anybody what to do. Like someone was telling me, you can't change that. I can't change you, but I can teach you how to treat me. You can call it whatever you want. I call it change. But still, we're going to conduct ourselves in a professional manner. So professionalism, even with professionalism, social media. I don't know if you all are on there now, but you definitely need to get on social media. If you're and you all may have heard this stuff before. I'm gonna ask some questions shortly. But with social media, I had a mentor that was helping me to get my stuff together on social media. One thing he said, you can remember this. He said, post one picture a day. That's getting started. You know, you got to stay relevant. It's so much going on. You can put something on your timeline on Facebook or Instagram now. You can go back by the end of the day and it's nowhere to be found because so many people are posting like that. So you need to stay relevant every day. You need to build your audience. And one thing you can do when you post your pictures, put 26 hashtags under. You can put them in your notes on your phone. Snellville's Finest Barber. Snellville Barbershop, Lawrenceville Barbershop, get the radius all around. Because that's how a lot of people are finding me now. I asked them when they come in new clients, I get a lot of new clients just through the style. See that? How did you find me? They say I was looking on Instagram. Most people are mid-age, they're looking on Instagram. And they're just, folks don't want to really search heavy. It's like, I'm in Snellville, I want a lady barber. So females, definitely put that female tag out there because there are some people that are looking for female barbers. They're looking for lady barbers. They're looking because they feel like females can cut, a female does feel like that females can cut females' hair better. Some men don't know how to cut females' hair. They cut it and it still looks hard. So they want a female because they just feel like you got that feminine touch. So I built since I moved to my suite, I built my female clientele. I do color as well. I do bleaching color. So the things that you all are learning here, you're going to use, you have the option to use them. Let me put it like that. Because some people, I know some guys are like, I ain't finna color nobody's hair, I ain't finna do that. You're going to get tired of just cutting hair after a while. It's going to get old, it's going to get boring, and you're going to want to do something new. So I hear some barbers say, well, when I get bored, I'll go buy me a new pair of clippers. That works. It works for me. I get a new gadget, something you can play with. It take you a little while to figure it out. But after that, you're going to go back to that bored feeling again. So you're going to have to open your horizons up. So doing dread, retwist, all of that. Doing facials, I do facials as well. I incorporate the things that I learned in school. You know, and that's something that I would really encourage each and every person to do. Don't just cut hair. You're going to get tired of cutting hair, I'm telling you. I love it. I enjoy doing it. I'm tired of this. I'm just at the place like, I don't want to be behind this chair all of my life. My mother cuts hair. I mean, she does hair. She's a cosmetologist in Mississippi. She's been doing hair for 55 years. She's still doing hair today. Tired in her body, broke down in her body, arthritis. Some days she has to sleep in gloves because her hands are cramping so much. Because she was back in that era where they was pulling that straightening comb and doing all of that, the Marcel iron, she did that. She's partially retired now. The reason she's fully retired is because she just worked all her life. She worked for 25 years before she took a vacation. That's a long time to go without a vacation. That's major burnout right there. You know, so I kind of use that and say, you know what, that's one thing I'm not going to do. I'm not working that long without, you know, some kind of vacation or something. But also, she never had a plan to invest or to, she's 72 or 73, one of them. But she never came up with a plan to do something else. So that's why I said keep those goals in your head. If you never have a plan to move on, and you may want to cut hair the rest of your life, but have a plan, and I'm going to get to that shortly. Professionalism. Gather your clients' information. Add them on Instagram. Build your followers up. You know, you may not be the best haircut or whatever, but if you got that networking and that connection with them, they'll come back to see you. They really will. So communication and building relationships is very important. The last thing I want to talk about, which is very important, and this is definitely not talked about in school, but you don't remember anything else that I say, please remember this. Financial literacy. Find you a financial advisor, like now. Not tomorrow, not when you graduate, find one now. You can find one at the bank. You can go to the bank, you can sit in there, you can ask them questions. And the reason I say that is because we have, especially as minorities, we have the money game backwards. You know, like I was saying earlier, we get our money and we start spending and doing everything else. Why not pay yourself first? I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn, get my money. Don't go pay Georgia Power first or the water, the Kiah water. Don't go pay them first. Pay yourself first. Even if it's nothing but $25, put something back. Because again, my mother is working this long because she failed to do that. You know what I'm saying? She had 2 kids that she had to take care of, and she was doing it by herself. So in her mind was, I gotta pay these bills, and I gotta make sure my kids are together, or whatever. I think she started in the beginning, but something happened, and she ended up having to use that money. But you need to put some money back. You know, everybody needs to put, because we're in the industry, we don't get no type of benefits. We just work. You got to trade, and even when you step out, you still got a job, because a job is you got to put your hands to do it. You know. So you own a job. When you know, folks say I'm self-employed, that means you own your job. Congratulations, you own your job. You want to move beyond, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm actually stepping into real estate now. I don't want to be, you know, just have all my money wrapped up over here where I'm just making money. I need to find somewhere to put some money so that I can step away from this a little bit, so that while I'm asleep, I can still be making money. So if something happens where my arm is messed up or my legs or my knees go out, I still got money from somewhere else. Pay yourself, find that financial advisor, because you need, before you even start, get your IRA if you don't have it already, a mutual, for some of you all may have it. Mutual funds and IRA, invest your money so it can double back. I wish when I got out in 2008, that I would have started investing. I wish I had somebody in my ear telling me, you need to start investing in the stock market, you need to do that. Because when I looked 10 years down the road, I was 36. I was like, dog, man. And I realized I spent a lot of days, I may make $100 when I first started. I get to the house, I ain't got $50 left. I'm like, where's my money at? This is the discipline that I'm telling you about. Where's my money at? I had to stop and get gas. I might have put $25 in the vehicle. I stopped by Outback, got me something to eat, got me a drink. That's easy, what, $30, $35, and then if you're going to tip as well. So I had to learn, I went through that cycle because my mindset, this is when I first started, my mindset was like, I get some more tomorrow. Ain't that how the drug dealers think? I get some more tomorrow. I can just go stand up on the block and I can get some more tomorrow. You can't have that mentality and be successful in this industry. So that's what I'm telling, like, even if you haven't cut out, there are still things that are important before you even get to that place. Start you an IRA. Make sure that you have life insurance. If you're 40 or below now, you can get a $100,000 policy for $20-something. You can't beat that. That's a month. What is life insurance? I worked with Primerica a little bit last year. I like their concept, and some people don't like it. They said, buy term and invest the difference. You can get a 30-year term for $100,000 or whatever you want, $200, $250, and then take the rest of your money and invest it. Even if you don't take but $25 more. Because I think with Primerica, they have where you can start investing for $25 a month. And that's just the company I'm throwing out because I dealt with them. But any other company, you can invest now. If I would have started that at 26, investing, when I got to 36, I probably, because that was right after 2008, after the crash, after the stock market and all that, I bought a house, but I didn't invest in anything. I probably will have about 6 figures right now in the stock market alone. I didn't have nobody in my ear telling me. So that's one of the most important things that I think that our industry needs to know, financial literacy. Make sure that you know, if you don't know, you may not know everything. You got a lot of resources. You got YouTube, that you can pull up different things, and then you can go to the bank and talk to a financial advisor, or you can just Google financial advisors near me or whatever, and just ask questions. They don't charge you to ask questions, you know, but you need someone to help you to maneuver your money. And most folks say, well, I can handle my own money. The thing about it is you don't know everything. You know, there are so many different avenues. So I always try to keep folks around me that's going to help me to get where I need to be. You have apps like Robinhood. I know you all probably heard about that. Webull. Invest in those apps. You know, $15, $20 right now. The stocks for the cruise lines and the airlines are very low. That's what I've been investing in. Because you know what? As soon as this is over with, what people going to do? Folks going on vacation. People want to go cruise. So if it's $10, $12 now, about 2 years ago, it was $60, $70, $80 now. What do you think it's going to shoot back up to? We're just at the down sprout of it, you know. So it's good to invest. Continue to invest. So I'm going to go back to the life insurance. The thing about life insurance, you may say, well, I don't need no life insurance because I said it. You know, I'm good. I'm healthy. People are dying left and right now. Not just old folks. You got young people dying. Life insurance is not for you. It's for your kids. It's for your spouse. It's for when you leave here, that life insurance is for them to continue living. That's how Jay-Z got where he did. Somebody left him a life insurance policy. The Kardashians. That's how these people are getting where they need to be because someone left them a life insurance policy. So the next question you have to ask yourself is, if somebody gives me, we're just going to say $100,000. Somebody give me $100,000, what am I going to do with it? That's a question to answer, ain't it? You have to really stop and think like, that's a lot of money for me to have in my hand at one time. Of course, you got to pay out of that money, pay for the funeral arrangements or whatever. That ain't going to cost a whole lot. Average funeral, $16,000. You want to make sure you put your folks away good, but you want to make, you got kids now, you want to make sure that they're good. You want to make sure that college funds are taken care of. So that's why it's important to have a financial advisor. They can start putting those things in perspective now, and that's a part of your budget now. You know, it ain't nothing that you just fly by night doing. It's a part of your budget, and it's something that you can keep up. With that term insurance, if you're healthy now, and you get it now for $25, guess what? For the next 30 years, that's all you got to pay is $25. Now, granted, after that 30 years, if you blessed and you live beyond the 30 years, it's gonna disappear. You don't have it anymore. Some other companies do have options where you can add a little bit more to it, but it's gonna be high. It's gonna be extremely high. That's why it's important to take another part of your money and invest it. So when that term insurance runs out, you got that investment that you can live off of. So that's something that I want you all to look into. Health insurance as well. We don't get health insurance. You know, you may go to some companies that, I don't know if Great Clips or places like that offer benefits or whatever, but most barber shops, or if you're planning on opening a barber shop, they don't offer all of that. We're going to offer you this chair and this mirror, cut hair. Pay me my booth rent at the end of the week and keep it moving, you know. Suites are a big thing now. And that's what I was saying earlier, but I wouldn't advise anybody, if you've never cut before, don't have any clientele, don't go into a suite. Starting out, it's a little higher than booth rent, but you don't have that walk-in clientele. You know, so you want to get somewhere, learn the shop atmosphere, build up, you know, your clientele, and then if you want to move to a suite, definitely move to it. So let me go back to the finances. Emergency fund. Everybody needs at least a minimum of $1,000 put back. Why? Because that's very low. Or whatever, but that's a goal. When I was talking about those goals, that's a goal you can set for yourself. $1,000, man, some of y'all probably walking around with that in your pocket right now. It's not a whole lot of money, but you need that in case something happens. What if you're out of work? What if you stay in Michigan and you're here and you got a family death or some emergency, you got to jump on a plane? You need some money where you can just go grab it and go do what you need to do. Not always putting it on a credit card, you know. So make sure you have an emergency fund built up. I think Dave Ramsey teaches, once you have that $1,000 and you start to spend it, then you stop everything else you're doing, rebuild that $1,000, then you go forth and do everything else that you needed to do, whether it was investing and different things like that. But keep you an emergency fund, because you never know. At the beginning of the year, I'm almost done. The beginning of the year, make some projections, you know, profit and loss statement. What do you want your finances to look like for this year? How much do I want to make it in a year? It's nothing for a barber to make $100,000. You're going to have to work hard. You're going to really be in there every day, probably cutting about 30, 40 heads. It can happen or whatever, but you're going to have to put that work in. You know, a lot of people don't want to work that. I don't want to work that hard no more. I've been cutting hair, 13 years. I don't want to work that hard no more. You know, so I'm just at a plan. I was working 3 days. I went back to working Tuesday, so I'm doing Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. But I'm in a suite, and I rent my suite out 2 days a week. I have a stylist that during the pandemic, she left her shop and she wanted to come, and I rent my suite out. So that's an option as well. So there is many options that you have in this industry. Definitely reach out, to somebody. Find somebody that's gonna help you. Don't find somebody that's just trying to fill a chair, but find something for you all to have them cut. Find somebody to help you. I do mentoring and consulting as well. I occasionally do one-on-one teaching, like hands-on teaching. So, and I'll give you my card. If anybody is interested, definitely let me know. We'll work something out. Yeah, I had started last year. Actually, I had I think a few people that wanted to learn how to cut. Wasn't teaching them any book work or anything, but they wanted to learn how to cut. So I kind of helped them out a little bit. But I've been doing that for years, ever since I started, like probably 11, 12 years. Because when I came in, that's the way I was taught. So I just kind of, duplicate the things that were taught to me. Find you an accountant and a CPA. You can do that right now. That accountant is going to help you keep your money and stuff in line. It's going to help you keep your paperwork in line. If you don't, and I bought a house since I've been in this industry, and I bought 2 cars. The thing about it is, when I went to get my house, don't make this mistake now. When I went to get my house, I didn't have a paper trail. I bought my house November 2011, but I started like July 2008. So I was just starting then. I wasn't going to do any kind of taxes then because I was working another job. But 2009, 2010, I needed to be doing taxes. You don't have to do them if you don't want to. But if you ever want to buy a house, you ever want to buy a car, you ever want to buy something that is a big ticket, you're going to have to show a paper trail. But self-employed, they want to see 2 years. They want to see you taking this money, going to deposit it in the bank. You need to get your LLC, get it set up, because there are different benefits that business owners have. You can get a business bank account, but this is going to help you out when you go to buy your thing. So what I had to do when I got ready to buy my house, they had to go back, and you could go back about 3 years, I think. They went back, did my taxes. They were sky high, because I had to put it at a certain amount so that without the itemizer, so that I can qualify to get the house. They went back later on to amend it. A lot of times, sometimes they let people do that, sometimes they don't, But it's good to start, when you first start, keep up with your stuff. You can get a spreadsheet on Microsoft, Excel, create you a spreadsheet of how much money you make. Also, that'll give you accountability. It shows you how much unnecessary money you're spending. When I really broke down my numbers and looked at them, I realized that I was spending too much money going to QT every day. Stopping by, just buying unnecessary stuff. We get bored. When you cutting all day, waiting on folks, you get bored. What's the first thing you do? Eat. Go buy some crackers, go buy a drink. I'm still working on that now, but I'm doing, some different things. So it's like, I ain't gonna be spending that money on that because I recreated my goals. So make sure that you have those goals in place. Anybody have anything that they want to ask me? That's all I have. I could talk to you all about fading and all of that stuff, but I think these are things that are missed a lot. It's things that are really vital, and they're going to help you as you go along in your career. So any questions? I want some questions. Somebody got to ask me something before I leave out of here. Anybody? Y'all look around like, what? Any questions, comments, or snide remarks? I'll take them all. I'm here for it all. What have y'all learned thus far? Is everybody here graduating now?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. So what is something that you all have learned that you will take with you? I want to hear from everybody. I'm coming to y'all too. Y'all the freshmen? Y'all just started? Okay. What is something that you all have learned from Mr. Regular, Mr. White taught y'all as well? What's something that you all have learned that you're going to take with you?
My biggest takeaway right now is I'm fresh. You just learned how to have not cooked before.
Okay.
And just to get in there.
Okay.
And the best way to learn is just to go for it. So I'm get my feet wet and probably start try some new things and just go for it.
Are you in a shop now? Yeah. You've been looking around? Okay.
Seeing what the vibe is.
Huh?
Seeing what the vibe is.
Okay. Okay. And that's very important, visiting different shops. I know it's kind of crazy with COVID, but I think barbershops are somewhat going back to the same thing that they were doing before. So you want to make sure, even with all this stuff going on, that you're in a safe environment with. Keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. What's something that you have taken away? Are you gonna take away rather?
To just get in there and just do it. Don't second guess myself. And don't worry about trying to get it perfect the first time. And I've noticed that when I'm working, I'm trying to make sure that I get it just right before I move on, or I'll just keep working on it because it doesn't look the way that I want it to look. But I'm learning that, okay, I'm gonna mess up right now. I'm going to mess up, own it, be all right with it, and learn from that, and not repeat what I did, the mess up or the error that I did make. Try not to do that again and learn from that.
How do you know when you get home? How do you know what you messed up on?
I review. I take pictures of my work, and I'll go back and I'll look at that. I'll also get feedback from other people and ask them to critique the work that I've done, and just study that, what I did do, and I play the steps in my head of what I went through to get to that final style.
That's one thing I was gonna say. It doesn't matter how long you've been cutting. Take pictures. That's one way that I teach. You know, you can say, "Oh, I messed up," but if you can't really sit down and break that picture down and analyze it and see that this line is off, you left a line in the bottom of the page, and you're not gonna grow. You have to have, because a lot of times you be in a shop and people will let the folks that you're working with, they'll let a bad haircut walk out the shop. They ain't gonna say nothing to you. They may go around the corner and laugh at you, talk about you, but they ain't gonna say, "Hey, you need to fix such and such." Everybody's not at that place, you know, or they may be buried in their phone, not even paying attention. So it's best for you to take pictures. A lot of times when you take pictures, it's something about that camera. When you put it on that hair, it'll make that mistake pop out at you if you're looking for it right then. So it don't, you 13, 14 years couldn't take pictures. Take pictures and compare. You know, everything is not supposed to be taken and posted on social media right off. Some things, I got plenty of pictures in my phone. Some of them I never posted because I'm using them to critique myself as well. You know, because there's always something that we could do better on. Next, what is something that you're taking away from Nick Tech?
Adrian?
Miss Lady?
She's one of
She's one of them? Okay. I'm coming back to you.
I think I learned that you gotta be willing to try different things. When I came to school, I thought I was just gonna learn how to cut, but I've done like facials.
I know you.
Colors.
I can't hear you. Can you talk a little louder?
When I came to school, I thought I was just gonna learn how to cut.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we've done colors, facials, you know, running waves, relaxes, all kinds of stuff that I didn't know I was gonna do. But so just be open-minded.
Okay. I like that. Be open-minded. What about yourself?
Well, I learned a lot since I've been here. Definitely gonna take away by being more focused on the task at hand. You know, when I'm cutting, because sometimes I overjudge my work when I'm cutting. You know, I'm like, well, I'll try to critique it a little bit too much than I need to, and sometimes it turns out fairly okay for the most part. But I think the fact that just be mindful of that.
Oh yeah, I would say that too. Not everything is gonna be as technical as you think it's gonna be.
For cutting straight hair, I never cut it before, and I cut his hair probably about 2 to 3 hours. You know, so I'm steady trying to critique it because I can't see it.
That's everybody.
And I'm steady at it and at it, you know, and it's just something that, you know, I need to work on.
Yeah, be open. You can go in the barber shops now, and there's still some African Americans that won't cut straight hair. There's still, you go in Caucasian shops, they can't fade. You know, so it's good to know all of it. Even if you don't know it now, don't be scared of it when you walk through the door. Trial and error, try it and see. You know, I think that's the thing about being a barber, that somebody sit in your chair and you kind of competing with yourself. You know, it's like, I know I can cut this. All you have to do is just adjust your thinking. If you cutting with the African American and you're using a 1 guard, just think up a guard. Go to a 2, do the same steps. Go to a two, if not a 2, 2.5, 3, same steps. And because you can always work yourself back down, but it's hard to work yourself up when you have started too low. You can always take off more hair, you can't put it